same damn place, it's a carnival.
Hey guys, welcome to the Carnival. I'm your host, BKEN. As always, Jeffrey, aka Django, is here with us today. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Sorry I couldn't be here last week. I had some very important stuff to do with the One Note Hope Foundation. As the COO, I kind of get busy sometimes. So I do apologize about not being here last week, but I heard that Jeffrey gave you guys a great episode. He rolled out the Carnival Raw, which I think is incredible. I can't wait for this episode because we actually have Streaming Chaos Part 2. So we're going to talk a little bit more about the things that go on in the music industry, and I can't wait to share some of that with you guys. Don't forget, check out the One Note Hope Foundation at onenotehope.org. Hopefully you guys had a chance to check out some of my stuff at the end of the last episode. I know Jeffrey gave you guys a few links, so hopefully you had a chance to check that out. Please leave us comments. We want to hear from you guys as well. With that said, Jeffrey, let's just roll on with the Carnival Raw.
Let's do it.
Part 2.
Because I guarantee you, if that conversation ever happened, if Usher called me right now and said, hey, I want to work with you, bam, I'll make you millions, blah, 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 blah. If that happened, if that ever happened, I guarantee you I would still be involved in the writing process simply because I'm a great writer. And I go into a studio and say, no. I know you wrote this part, but listen to what I came up with. It's better. And it would be better because I write with passion. I write with heart. The people who write songs in Hollywood, and by the way, there's only about 3 people in the whole world who control the entire music industry, just so you know. And because there's only 3 major labels, and the CEOs of those companies control the entire fucking music industry. So the basic point that I'm trying to make is that if you look at the streaming industry and you look at how streaming music came to be and you look at what it is today, streaming started what? Napster was probably the first streaming service that I can remember.
Yeah.
I mean, can you remember anything else? I know LimeWire was out, but they didn't come out till after Napster, though.
But that wasn't streaming. That was pirating.
No, you're right. Yeah, Napster was pirating and it was sharing, but that's the first time that you could go on a website and get music for free, which is what started streaming.
Yeah.
Now they have revamped it a million times, and they've had to do regulations and they've had to abide by the law. So you have to do all those things, but that was really what started streaming services. So if you look at where it came from and where it is today, it's 2 completely different. I mean, you're not even playing the same sport. I was going to say ball game. It's a different ball game. I already said that earlier. Right. But it would be. It's a completely different sport at this point. And because of that, the number 1 people who have suffered from that are artists. Artists have suffered more from streaming services than any other reason that you could possibly think of for artists to struggle. Like, that's legit. Because, I mean, think about it this way, too. Think about it this way. Look at these Netflix specials that come out.
Yeah.
Think about it this way. So, and I'm going to plug her because I absolutely love her. She's probably one of my favorite stand-up comedians of all time. Eliza Schlesinger. She is an amazing stand-up comedian, but almost everything she does has been a Netflix special. Now imagine if she would have been able 20 years ago to put that on pay-per-view.
Right. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
She would have made so much more money than she's making now for her art form. And that's stand-up comedy. It's different than music, and I get that. But that it just drives my point home.
Yeah.
Streaming has literally destroyed the ability for artists to make a fair living. Now, you can get to a certain point in streaming where you're making a really, really good living. In fact, people do it with just playing video games. So streaming has helped everybody overall, but as a musician and as an artist, it's killed you. Here's another great example. So Adam Sandler has a contract with Netflix for 6 movies. And I don't remember how many he's done. I think he's done 4 or 5, right? But do you think that Adam Sandler is going to get paid near as much putting everything on Netflix as an exclusive Netflix thing as he would if you had to go to the box office and watch all 6 of those movies? Absolutely not. And by the way, they're not bad movies. I would go check them out. They're actually pretty good. Adam Sandler's work on Netflix has been better than some of the work he's done outside of Netflix, if I'm being honest.
But he's still getting paid. That's the thing.
Oh no, he's absolutely getting paid. But it's I guarantee you it's a small percentage compared to if he were to go to the box office.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you, as an artist, you can't put one song on a streaming network and make millions of dollars off that one song. Whereas you could put one song on the radio 20 years ago, 15 years ago, and make millions of dollars off that one single just because people are going to go buy your entire album to hear that one song. You can't do that anymore. So you have to literally work 5 times as hard. You have to put out 5 songs that get millions and millions and millions of plays on Spotify, just to use that company. Millions and millions of plays on Spotify. You could have sold that song millions and millions and millions of times, made $2 per, like we were talking earlier. You could have made $2 per album sale. Let's say you sold 2 million albums. You made $4 million. Let's say on Spotify you get 7 million plays. You only make $500,000. Are you kidding me? Streaming services absolutely destroyed musicians and artists. It absolutely has. But I will say this. There are far more general population people than there are artists. If I'm wrong, then kill me now because I'm right. There's 8 billion people on this planet, and probably 500,000 of those are actually artists. And those 500,000 out of that, probably 50,000 actually can make a living off of it in the entire world. And you have to look at it that way because that's just how it, but I will say this though, I will say this, and this is to be fair. I don't like it, but it's to be fair. Yes, it killed the ability of great artists to make millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, but it opened up the opportunity for normal artists to make $100,000 a year and actually provide for their families. If you can't live off $100,000 a year, you are fucking stupid. You're an
That's
idiot.
one thing I was going to say. It gave the ability for artists that would never have made it. They had great fucking songs, great music, great talent, great art to put it out there and let people hear it.
You're right. I will say that about streaming. I will say that it opened up doors for, let's say you had 50,000 people.
Yeah.
Before, right? Well, now 250,000 people out of everybody on the planet could make a decent living. And by decent, I'm talking about 100K plus. Like 100K plus, I guarantee you there's more than 250,000 people on the planet right now making 100K plus just doing music through streaming services.
Without streaming services, we never would have had the opportunity to reach 7.4 billion people.
Oh, you're right, though. I mean, you're right.
I mean, we don't have the crew to pull that off on our own. But there's bands out there now that can just do it on their own. I mean, you look at some of these huge YouTube people that are releasing albums by themselves. There's thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people listen to them. You know, and our music, my music is available to 7.3, 4, 5 billion people right now.
Pretty close to 8 billion, by the way.
Yeah, and they can all listen to it. They can listen to what we have done.
Yeah.
And there's no way in hell.
But before, think about it before. Before, we would have had to have had all of our music done and put on a CD and literally out of the trunks of our cars sold those CDs to get our music out. Now, if you're stuck in Yuma and I'm stuck in Oklahoma, that means that only the Yuma community and only the Oklahoma City community could have that music because we're there pushing it.
Yeah.
But with streaming, and this is, and I know I've talked a lot negative about streaming services, and I don't want anybody to get the impression I'm against them because I'm absolutely not for those reasons. But you have to look at the negative with the positive. You have to. And the negative aspect of it is that musicians don't get paid. The positive aspect of it is that more musicians get paid, if that makes sense. So musicians don't get paid as much, but everybody gets a piece of the pie.
Right.
So in that regard, streaming services help you. But you know, I mean, honestly, if I'm being completely honest, if I could get 7 million plays on fucking Spotify and make $500,000 a year doing it, cool.
Oh yeah.
Good. Fine. That's awesome. I don't need millions and millions and millions of dollars to be happy. I don't need that. I need about 100 grand a year to take care of my family the way I want to. So with that, but there are people out there like who want to make millions and millions of dollars. And I mean, you could be famous and make $100,000 a year.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all about how you look at things. It's all about perspective.
There's a lot of famous people that are only worth $100,000 a year. You know, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the Justin Timberlakes and the Leonardo DiCaprios and the Biebers, that's a very ultra small part of the population, the 0.00001% that do that. So
you can't name one person who won a Grammy. You can't name one person who's won any kind of Oscar or any kind of major award that's making just $100,000. You can't. Like it's almost like there's this gap. Like there's this gap of like you have millions and millions of dollars and supreme fame, or nobody knows who you are, but you can still make a good $100K a year.
Right, but do you need a Grammy to be successful?
Well,
Leo
no,
Dinkin
so that's what I'm saying. Though, like you're not going to see people who make $100,000 a year at the Grammys. You're not going to do that.
Yeah. No, that's true. You know, and I don't know. I guess that's why.
Fame, I don't need an award to prove that I'm an artist. I don't need that.
Right.
I don't have
Absolutely.
I've known I was an artist since I was about 5 years old because nothing else ever made any sense to me. So, as an artist, I don't need that. But I promise you right now that the level of money you make and fame are on the same coin. It's the same thing. Because if you're making $100,000 a year, there's enough people who know you. There's enough to where you can make that money. But not enough people know you to be highly famous. Like, you know what I mean? You would not know the name Beyonce if she only made $100,000 a year. You wouldn't do it. There's no fucking way.
That's true. You know,
and each person can make $100,000 a year. And
but you know, and Hunter just showed up, and he actually has a good point because he just said if you have 5 members in a band and they all make $100,000 a year, you could probably attain a certain level of fame from that because the band's probably making $2 million a year to get to that point.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today for Streaming Chaos Part 2. That's going to conclude that episode of the Carnival Raw. So we will be looking forward to having some more of those segments in the future. Those segments are basically just Jeffrey and I sitting around talking about whatever today's topic is. One of us decides to hit record and we get, you know, raw footage. That kind of stuff, you really never know what we're going to say, and that's what we like about it. So I hope you guys stay tuned for some more episodes of the Carnival Raw. Next week, we'll be rolling out a brand new segment. I can't wait. This is going to be one of my favorite things that we do on this show. It's going to be called Jeff Quest. Jeff, you want to tell them a little bit about what we're doing?
So our goal here is to reach out to local bands, give them an opportunity to talk about what they're doing, how they're changing the music scene, maybe just a easy, quick way for them to promote themselves. So we're going to set up a video, a podcast type with them, and we'll ask them the hard questions, and we'll find out what is really inside a local band's brain.
Yeah, I think it's going to be incredible. Like I said, I've been looking forward to doing this section since we thought about this idea. So guys, tune in next time. Tune in next week because we are going to have Cyanide Hook with us next week. We cannot wait. These are some very close personal friends of ours, and I cannot wait for Jeff to sit down with them. So, guys, thank you guys once again for tuning into the Carnival with BKEN and Django. Make sure you check out onenotehope.org below. Check out my channel, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Cheers.